Hey guys, this is Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Today, let's make Keto Upma. Keto comes from the word ketogenic diet. It's actually an abbreviation and it is a state in which the body is subjected to high fat, adequate protein and almost negligible or low carbohydrates. Basically, it subjects the body to ketosis in which the body is forced to burn the fats rather than the carbohydrates. So here, instead of the traditional way of making an upma in which we use semolina or rava, it is equally replaced by the quantity of cauliflower. How? Let's see. We need a head of cauliflower, cut the base off. We need to check this nicely for any worms, if any. We can keep this in salted water for some time so that if at all there are any worms, they get moved off. Well, this needs to be now broken into large chunks. This now needs to be washed nicely and the next step is grating this. While I'm using a box grater, you can also use a food processor which is going to make your life very easy. Cauliflower has been grated. Let's move on to the next vegetables. The first one to begin with is a red onion. Let's cut this into thicker dices like so. Let's move on to cutting green chilies. And finally, some carrot. I like my upma with a little bit of ginger. So let's chop a piece of ginger. If you do not, you can avoid that. Let's chop this up finely. Now that our pre-preparation is ready, let's move on to making the upma. For this, let's heat a kadhai. And to this, I'm adding in a teaspoon of coconut oil. Once the oil heats up, the first ingredient that goes in, some mustard seeds. Allow these to splutter. Once the mustard begins to crackle, let's add in cumin seeds, followed up with curry leaves. Let's add in some cashew nuts and saute this just for a few seconds. To this, I'll add in ginger, followed up with green chillies, along with diced onions. Saute this just for a bit so that the onions kind of turn translucent or pink in color. You see the cashew nuts have nicely toasted and have turned a shade brown. Also the onions have cooked perfectly the way we want. Let's add in grated cauliflower, and this is where all the difference happens. In a regular upma, this is the stage where we add in semolina and we kind of toast it for a few seconds. But here in a keto upma, we are replacing semolina, like I said, with cauliflower. Well, to this, let's add in diced carrots. You could also add in peas at this stage exactly the way we like and prefer in our upma. We need to give this a nice mix. You can also add in some turmeric if you wish, like some houses we add in turmeric. I do not. Let's add in some salt. Well, this you can adjust according to your diet, your intake. And finally, the most essential ingredient of the lot, which is lemon juice. Let's give this a nice mix. And now we need to cover this and cook for the next 3 to 4 minutes. But before we cover, let's splash in just a little bit of water. It's been 7 minutes on low flame and the cauliflower and carrots would have been perfectly cooked. Let's give this one final stir and add in another essential to a keto diet, which is grated coconut, along with fresh coriander. One final mix and your keto upma is ready. And finally, let's top this with some additional grated coconut. Do try this if you're one of those following a keto diet. Well, a lot of Indians across the globe may identify this upma as a traditional thoran or a poriyal, which is a South Indian vegetable specialty. Well, let me say you're not far off. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed the Keto Upma. With this, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Get Curried.